What's up, guys? Footnote Lover 47 here. Welcome to Watch for the Plot. And today, we're going to talk about Yosuga No Sora, or as translated in English, In Solitude Where We Are At Least Alone. Now, this show, I have a bit of a history behind it, and it kind of led me down to the path of making a channel like 7 years down the line. So about 7 years ago, right? We're not even talking about the play. We're talking about like what got me into the show, why it's still stuck in my brain. It's still embedded. I haven't watched the show in 7 years and it's still stuck in my brain. I had a decent crush on a girl who was in high school. I don't know exactly what her name was. Just call her Jamie. I had a crush on Jamie, and she had a twin brother named Joseph, right? And we were just talking this side and third, and I was making fun of her, and then she's like, "Hey, watch this anime." And I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, "Oh, watch it. It's pretty good." And I started watching it, and then I'm realizing, wait a minute. The main characters are also twin siblings. Why did she recommend me this anime, which kind of looks suspect if they're twin siblings in real life and in the anime? And then I watch it, and I'm like, oh, but she's trying to tell me something she isn't telling me exactly. That's what's going on here. Anyway, so let's get into what this show is about. So essentially, what the show is about is 12 episodes, so I can't just go like episode by episode. I'd be like a fucking 2 hours to do that. But basically, the show is just these two siblings who both parents died mysteriously. They don't really go into detail exactly how they died, but they are left alone in this massive looking house, like 3 rooms, 4 bedrooms, like a huge ass kitchen. It's like an enormous house, dude. And they had to take care of each other. Now, since this is like a 2008 anime, they really went hard with the like stereotypical roles, this, that, and third. Where like the sister's like, "Oh, I'll take care of you." She was kind of like doting on him, like basically being his mother, essentially, to the point where it's almost like going across the line, essentially. Like you kind of get the hint where I'm going with here. She's kind of obsessive with him, and as you get to this point, like where they're going to school normally, what is that in the third, and then they go to school, and then they're having friends, talking with friends, and then Sora's the girl, and Haruka is the boy. Okay, so Sora begins to have feelings for Haruka because Sora's just, well, she's insane. Okay, like she would go multiple nights just continuously just scratching records, just going at it with herself, just continuously nonstop. And then like Haruka would never hear this. And one day he decided to listen in on it the entire time, and he found out that Sora was saying his name out loud. And Haruka was like, "Oh my god, that's crazy." Unless so the progress is just descent into absolute madness right there, right? So at first, now Haruka knows Sora's feelings. Now Haruka's like, "What do I do here?" He looks up at school. He tries to look up, see if incest was legal or some shit, which it is in Japan, so that's also a wonderful thing. And while he's doing all this, he's interacting with girls at school. He's trying to be, like a regular person. He's talking with them. He's going out with dates with girls in the third. He's not liking it. He doesn't know he doesn't like it, but he's not liking it because it isn't like his complete. I don't know. I can't explain why he doesn't like it. He just doesn't at the moment. Okay, and Sora would just be asked him, "Oh, what'd you do today? What'd you do today? What'd you do today? What'd you do today?" And then Haruka would just lie, obviously, because you can't really just tell the sister that's obsessed with you that you've been going out with other girls, because if you do that, then, well, you might end up getting murdered or poisoned food, which is basically murder, this, that, and the third. And Haruka is starting to realize that he doesn't like any of the girls other than, so you can connect the dots there. And he's slowly starting to succumb to her madness as well, to the point where like he would just stay home and purposely listen to her go off on the multiple nights that was mentioned before and just enjoy it, I guess. It's quite baffling. And the friends are noticing that both the siblings are disconnecting from the friend group. And the friend's like, that's weird. Why are they no longer hanging out with us as much as they used to? Oh, well. And like the thing is, right, the friend group, like they notice too, they know both of their parents died. So like they can't like probe that hard, because that's kind of a depressing topic to bring up, like why you're so close to each other. Well, it's because the parents did, obviously. You know what I mean? And I think another day of him researching if incest is illegal or not, and then him just saying, "Fuck it, I'm doing it anyway." So he just decides to just go home and just nonstop, right? Just nonstop. And the first time he did it, it was like, "Oh, it's cool. Let's keep doing this." And they kept doing it continuously. And then it came to a point where, again, remember that I was saying it was dissociating from the friend group? Well, yeah, it came to the point like they just stopped going to school entirely. And they were just the entire day at home. It's like nonstop. And it's like, well, why aren't they leaving their house? The friend group's obviously asking these questions, like, don't you have to go to school? So they open the door, and then they're just in the middle of it, right on the doorsteps. It's like you couldn't even try to pretend to hide it. It's kind of like, what are we doing here? And now with them found out in the middle of the action, to stand the third, the friend who had a crush on Haruka, you know, that girl he was going out with but didn't really like it, yeah, she flips. She snaps. She's disgusted. She's appalled. She just does not want to deal with him whatsoever. Haruka tries to chase her, and then she's like, no, fuck you. I don't want to talk to you. And then just walks off. And then Sora is like, she's just completely just shattered. Like, her secret, her one true just reason of living just gone now. Well, at this point, right, we have both of them just basically being exiled because now the rumor of them just becoming more closer than what they should be is going to be out, and I think they're going to get arrested, right? That's what the chronologically would go, right? But no, what the sister Sora decides to do is like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna take a long walk on a short pier. So she dives into the bottom of the ocean, and then Haruka is like just in despair, just deep in his thoughts. He's like, wait, where's Sora at? And then couldn't find out, like he walks out to wherever that back pond, like the pond's like in the middle of the woods or some shit, I think. I don't remember. He walks to the pond's at, and he like, she's stuck, she's drowning in the water. Okay, she's drowning because she was trying to off herself, but something was resisting her urge to do so. You know, her wanting to breathe oxygen, and Haruka went and tried to save her. And then he confesses in the water, and then he's like, oh my god, and then he just holds on to her, and they're drowning, slowly drowning to their deaths. They're like reaching the end on the bottom of a 20-foot ravine, and then boom, out of nowhere flashes to Sora saving both of them. And then she's like, oh my god, I know you feel like this too, oh my god, let's move out, let's move. And so they move out of the village they're in to live together as a couple, essentially, and they're just basically starting life anew. And they're coming into the city the same way they're leaving it, on the train, except they're a little bit more hands-on, obviously PDA to the highest degree. Now, what does this have to do with, and the end? And what does that have to do with the story I mentioned earlier, and as to why it's so kind of weird for the twin siblings to mention that anime to me? Well, because they were also kind of close, and they also were having long stints of not going to school as often later on in the semester. I don't want to be a conspiratorial theorist or anything, but she said that was like one of her favorite animes of all time. So there must be a reason as to why, since the situation is probably similar. Don't you agree, Rick Astley? Alright guys, I don't have an outro, but if I did, it wouldn't matter because it don't make fun to the video. Good night. Oh yeah, I haven't been uploading as much because I've been uploading my side channel, so that's a thing. And yeah.